I am Raphael Leonard Guzzardo. I am a Vietnam veteran, a brother, husband, entrepreneur, and I am a father. And used to be pastures for the cows. They used to come to our backyard sometimes and they would nibble at the goodies that my mom would be growing, you know, vegetables and stuff. He had a lot of friends and I tried to sort of get in on those friends. And they always tried to ditch me. But I got by pretty well. And I spent my first through fourth grade at La Mesa Dale, and my kindergarten at La Mesa Elementary, and I think both of them are gone now. Tennis courts are right in our backyard, basically. So I got started in playing tennis a lot. I had experience in my senior year, the first black in La Mesa. That would have been about 1960. I did pretty well academically. La Mesa Women's Club offered me a 4-year scholarship. It was like $250 a year. I very much enjoy biology. I was given a internship at Scripps in my senior year. In fact, we discovered a little thing called Tigropus. It's a little marine animal that reproduced quickly and was good for genetics. It was like the equivalent of the fruit fly, but marine. And we did, drawings and things. We did some of the original work on this little creature. So between my senior year and college, I did the Scripps thing, and I, asked around what would be a good major for me. And most of them said math. So I went into math at San Diego State. I was president of the ISEC, which was the International Business Students. And we tried to get internships for foreign students in the U.S. So that allowed me to go on a internship in overseas somewhere. And I did that, and I decided to go out to Italy. I worked for it was called Gruppo Finanziario clothing company. And I did some traveling. My recollection is that I first flew into Paris, and I was going to stay there for a few days, but I didn't like Paris, so I left there early. That was when they really didn't like American. They like the money, but they don't like the American approach. And then I finished my internship and went back to Paris. And I think I like going the second time because I have more experience. I spoke Italian. They thought I was English.
Oh, they thought you were English?
Yes. I had to go back to Scripps. PhD is what I had to go for. And we just couldn't afford that. So I finished the degree in math, and I said, well, now what am I going to do? Decided I would go on to business school and get an MBA. And thinking back, I probably wouldn't have gone into what I did go into. I was interested in virology. I might have gone into that area if I had gone more back into get a PhD, but it wasn't very practical at the time. We met a lot of friends there too, like Mary and Steve Thudium and Bob Lance, and that's where I met your mom. And it was more like group dating at the time. So I was taking one of the girls up to a retreat in the mountains, and I wasn't your mom. Well, we connected somewhat and started dating after that.
And then you guys decided to get married pretty quickly, didn't you?
Yes, we did. After about 3 months, we made the decision to elope. Then the Vietnam War was on, and of course they had the draft going. And I went to basic training in Fort Knox, Kentucky. I got my assignment out of basic training to go to Presidio in San Francisco to do computer work. When I went into the military, I applied for officer training school. I got an offer for a commission about a year and a couple months later. I said, you know, I'm going to be out of this in about another 6 months. What's the purpose? And I was there in 68 and 69. It was very humid. It was very stifling. It's like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it. And if I had to go into the field, I wouldn't have lasted. I would just dehydrated and shriveled up and died, I'm sure. Primarily, we were logistics. We bring the troops in and cycle them out. I do remember that we got a lot of privileges because of our ability to bring troops in and out. A lot of barbecues. The air base was called Benoit, and it was the largest air base at the time in the world. They were spraying all around us, of course. They were trying to keep the jungle away from the air base, and I'm sure I got exposed that way. There were a lot of tunnels they would dig, and they would fire mortars and rockets at us. And we pretty much knew when we were going to get hit, because the Mamasans are the ones we used as workers. They would go home to feed Papa San, get them ready for the night. And when they left early, we knew we were going to get hit, usually. They made a big assault on the air base. They tried, and they just got slaughtered. In January of each year was their Tet holidays, was their sort of celebration like our New Year's Day. They did major attacks. They brought a lot of people down from North Vietnam. They would invade and try to hit air bases. And of course, I was on a big air base, and we were on the perimeter. Our job was to keep them out. We would call in strikes like phosphorus strikes and things like that, mortars. Where I was at was a big ammunition dump, and if they ever hit that, it would have killed us all. They didn't have much of a chance. Some of them would start marching down from the north, and they would start with a stick, and then they, along the way, hoped they would find a weapon. I remember going out afterwards to the little hamlet church called Benoit, and there were stacks of bodies. In April of 1969, I got out, came home. I always had to do extra things, you know, to make more money so we could survive. I even worked at Jack in the Box at night to make extra money. Then I applied for the city of San Diego, and I got a job there as a analyst, budget analyst. And that's when I met one guy who was supposed to decide if I was going to hire him or not. I had to interview him, and I said, what do you want to really do? He says, well, I'd really like to start this company, make some products for the TV industry. And I said, why don't you do that? If you need some help, I'll give you some help. So we started a company called Pride Electronics, and we started in my garage about June of 1974, I think. By the end of the year, we had probably done about 64,000. We started to get bigger and bigger, went to Kearny Mesa, and did more business, about 1.1 million. 76, we did about 3.6 million, and I applied for a grant from the city of San Diego for 80,000, and that launched us on getting some notoriety, because we were hiring handicap, and we hired, deaf, blind, mentally ill, amputees. Unfortunately, the guy who was running the show started spending money like there was no tomorrow, and he went bankrupt. I left Pride Electronics. I had a small, about 5% of the stock, so I cashed out, and then I formed a company myself called Calamere, and that was doing basically the same thing. I think somewhere that started going downhill, and so I closed it out, and I formed another company called Technotron, or RG Electronics. It was mildly successful. It was just tough to deal with all the ups and downs of business. I dabbled in a few other things, but nothing was really successful. I was very good at surviving, but not really great at innovating. First talked about it, we wanted to have 6. And then as Mom got pregnant, she said, no, I don't want any more. 4 would be fine. But we had 2 more. And in fact, I would have liked more. We got them in order we wanted. We wanted first a girl, and then we wanted a boy, and we got that. Then we said we don't care, and we got Bryant. Then we said we want a girl, and we got Marissa. Then we said we don't care, and we got Samantha. Then we said, now we want a boy, and we got you. So we never really had money.
Yeah.
We were always just paying for kids. But we're happy with it. I think that's one thing I'm proud of, is that you guys all turned out pretty well. I mean, you had to work hard, no question about it. Nothing was given to you, I don't think. Nothing was made easy for you, and you guys came through very well. I think we led a pretty good legacy. You guys are independent, and I think we'll be fairly successful. And it doesn't feel like it's been 47 years. It seemed like it went faster than I would expect. You know, it was tough at times, but we got through it all. And I enjoyed being a father and a husband. Mom has been very loyal and very caring, probably more than I have been to her. That's her nature. We were talking about all the things we wanted to do in later life, and we're not accomplishing any of them. So, you know, it's not going as we had anticipated, but it's going to be okay. They're going to try to fast track me through the VA for disability. If I get 100%, Mom gets taken care of better. She gets more money when I pass away. And if I get the 100%, she'll get Champus, which is medical and maybe some other benefits. So we're hoping that comes through okay. I've been diagnosed with neuropathy, with strokes, with cardiovascular, you know, heart, and now with cancer, and amputations, and what else? Kidney disease. What the VA says is that I guess they have enough records, enough cases, that the Agent Orange was the main cause of the diabetes, and probably other things that had come along with it. I'm having more problems speaking, I can tell that. And that's probably more due to the stroke. And I may never get a chance to try some of the things I want to try. And that's kind of sad that we're in our circumstances, that end of life is coming to us. And I really think we're getting to the point where we may not survive much longer. I look at it, I've led a pretty good life, 70 years. How many more years, I don't know. I could be totally misplaced. But right now, I'm optimistic that I can live that long. I guess the pancreatic cancer is one of the worst, but I'm not too worried about it. I don't want to do anything extraordinary to extend my life. Well, I don't want to do radiation or chemotherapy. They gave me like 1 year to live, and said there's nothing we can do, so we'll try. We have one alternative that's called palliative care, which is make you as comfortable as possible, and that you pass, pain-free as much as you can. I'm declining. I can see it every day. Things that were easier to do, I'm finding more difficult to do. So I'm assuming my time's coming.
You're looking forward to when it's over?
I think so, yeah. I figure I lived a pretty good life.
You definitely did.
I don't have any regrets. We have a goal of not me passing until we get our 50th anniversary complete, which is say about 3.5, 4 years away. So I have a lot of work to do to survive. But we'll see.